are these people?
You pull this together right before the show started.
Right. So we did, well, there's going to be enough people talking about the New York City Memorial Race over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I didn't want to headline it. You know, we'll throw it on fucking page D.
No,
Go to page
D. We're not headlining the election per se. We're headlining the responses.
We're just reminding people how things work.
And there's a reason why, because I'm sure a lot of you know us well enough to know that we do not engage with the electoral BS. And it's just crazy to me how even in our space, we get caught up in it every single time. I get it. It helps with views. It's what people will talk about mostly, but that's not the thing that we should be talking about right now or ever, given how broken our system is. So given that, we've been kind of silent because our views are not going to necessarily be popular, even among people within our space. So, but you brought this up, and I think you've been kind of, at least privately to me, and you started to go more vocal with this over the last day.
Me and Indy were talking about it, like, I don't know, like 4 weeks ago when this guy started popping up on every podcast ever. All right. Like, we're like, and then you just start doing like, just assume your politician, especially if they're in the Democratic Party primary, especially, but like any party at this point, just assume that they're a waste of time and an op at this point. Start there. You know, if you want to work towards innocence, be my guest. But like, I don't got time for that. Err on the side of paranoia. Very simple. Anyway, I hate this timeline. Don't fall for the Zorhan. No one allowed near power will fight for you. Please stop looking to politicians to save you. Look, SheerPost. The fuck you doing, SheerPost? We need to do politics. No, we've been there, done that. Just throw it out, you know. Try something else. Ugh. Like, anyway, so
I have a little bit. I think I put in a little bit more from you later, but
yes, I have this. But before we get to those, I have a bunch, so I might as well.
You might as well start them here before we'll get to the meat of it.
So there's. Did it go? Button press. There we go. So we have this, right? I'm once again asking you to support an already compromised politician. A message from Bernie Sanders for fucking Zorhan. Right? Like, I mean, is it making sense yet? Like, I mean, I have more later, but
all right. Well, let's get into the meat of it. So this one that I put in. So this is one that I retweeted, I think yesterday. So wake me up when you all figure out electoralism won't save us. So because everyone last night, you know, got in their feels regarding Zorhan, at least at the time, winning the primary.
Yeah.
And since then, yes, we know he has now, but again, it's still the idea of electoralism, you know, thinking that if we vote for the right guy with the right policies, that somehow everything will be okay.
Like,
you also tweeted this.
And this is why we can't have nice things Yes, let's try and reform the Democrats from the inside again. Super strategic. Much wow. For fuck's sake. Like, this shit. This fucking lady is who you're going with. Like, okay. Not because he's perfect, but because we're strategic. What? It's strategic to break with the Democrats from the inside. Sure. Sure, that's what it is. What else you got?
So you saw this later, but I saw this. So Fee shared this with us privately, and then she posted it publicly. But once again, Fee with the consistent, practical, but brings the fire every single time.
Please,
and I keep telling you guys, you need to listen to this woman. This is why we trust this woman. This is why she's a good friend to us. So I want to give her some love because I know no one else in independent media is going to share this, but we will, because number one, we want to be on record to kind of say how we feel about this. And Fee basically said everything I could have wanted to say in the most, I wouldn't say diplomatic, but in every possible good way that I can never say it. But again, just want to give her some love, but remind you all of how fucked our system is and how you should not be crooning over this guy, especially given that he ran as a Democrat. So it's long, but I think it's important to share. So Fee tweeted earlier today, if a politician has this guy's endorsement, he's a fraud. Some of you are among the absolute most gullible and moronic people I've seen on the app. Not you guys necessarily, but more the normies. And honestly, some people in the space that should know better. Still hoping some politician from the genocidal Democratic Party comes to save you, thinking voting in a fascist state is a solution. You deserve everything you get by rehabilitating the party that, yes, would have absolutely still bombed Iran by pushing a guy funded by the same progressives who voted yes on Israel's Iron Dome and think Israel has a right to defend itself by genociding Palestinians.
Your vote counts.
Why the anger? She meaning hers. Because we're on the brink of multiple global catastrophes and you're too distracted by the next shiny object, you AOCIA in town, to get organized and do fuck all about it. You're so eager to be saved and too self-centered to realize you're not the one needing saving. For fuck's sakes, grow up and start thinking beyond voting in a system that has no real electoral path nor any accountability to you, but a predatory class that's advised by war and resource extraction, which we talked about all night, basically, in this show. I know the feel-good patting yourselves is so tempting, but for once, don't be so goddamn selfish. From an American that's been abroad and back, and every time I return, I'm more disappointed than most people have learned absolutely nothing. A lot of you are lucky to never have experienced even a Molotov cocktail in your lives. You come off as entitled and, to be frank, receive little empathy. Yet you boast about the brand new hand-picked moron as if they'll stop a nearly 2-year genocide. For fuck's sake, it's absolute insanity. I don't want to hear it anymore. Your presidents don't run the country. Your politicians are useless, and you do not realize this yet and continue playing a losing game. Meanwhile, the rest of the world continue to get fucked, bombed, murdered, genocided, and entirely destroyed, while you parade around doing nothing but forming new Hopians to feel good about it your own luck. Morally vacuous and ever spoiled, it seems most won't learn until the bombs drop on our soil. And for the record, if the aim is to troll Zionists or make fun of them, and that's fun for you, that's great, have fun. But the world needs you to wake up, grow a pair, Be serious and do everything in your power to stop the US, NATO, and Israel from annihilating the world, unless you want to wait until it annihilates you. And this actually... Open your eyes, time to wake up. Enough is enough, is enough, is enough. Actually, this is what I wanted to share. This, I think, is the most important, because this is the bullshit that I was seeing today. Because even within our space, everyone was like, "Oh, we don't. While we know it's not good for the Zorhan to win,
American,
you know,
bullshit.
It's good for the Zionists to be kicked down a notch." Like, no, like Zionists are not going. It's not like the Zionist lobby is going away because Zorhan is going to be, or on his way to becoming, the new mayor. They still have the influence, they still have the power, they still have the money. And so you shitting on them is not going to help matters, and it's not going to make this Israel problem go away. So, I mean, and I saw that a lot today, and I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers. Like, and some of them should know better, because I get it, I get the temptation, but it's not helping matters at all. Like, it's not as if, like, it's not like they're going to go away anytime soon. But anyway, another perspective, and she tweeted this from Enemy Watch. Over 4,000 Iranians are fighting and suffering, many lying wounded. More than 277,000 Palestinians have been martyred, injured, or disappeared from population data. Nearly 10,000 Lebanese have been affected or are still suffering. Between 10 to 15,000 Syrian Alawite have been martyred. Hundreds in Yemen have also sacrificed everything. And yet we feel zero shock, zero urgency over who got elected in New York City. Why was he elected? What will he do? For whom will he act? He is part of the same democratic machine bombed Saeed Hassan Nasrallah and countless others. If your conscience isn't shaken, if your breath isn't caught in your throat with the blood of nearly 300,000 victims spilled by Zionist imperial hands, then maybe your research is just an escape from reality. We don't need any more mayor or president. Mamdani condemned both Hamas and the Zionist entity, just like the so-called international court that issues arrest warrants for both Ismail Haniyeh and Netanyahu at the same time, equating the oppressed with the oppressor. We don't need symbolic voices or polished academic gestures. Watermelon emojis won't stop the genocide. People are dying every day. And yet these velvet glove commentators still hesitate, still balance their words as if justice requires neutrality between slaughter and survival. Yeah. And I feel like in a lot of ways, you probably will agree with me that Zorhan was a pleasant distraction from what's happening in Gaza, from what's happening in Yemen, from what's been happening in Syria, as an excuse to be like, oh, we don't need to worry about this anymore because this seemingly Muslim socialist, and he's not a socialist, by the way, is coming in to save New York. But anyway, Fee is not done. For the record, I know this isn't an official endorsement because she tweeted regards to Chuck Schumer essentially giving thanks for Zorhan winning the primary.
I mean, but is this one like is this an endorsement? Does this count?
Who's this?
Like AOC?
Oh, AOC.
Like Bernie practically gave an endorsement, you know?
Right. So, and you notice how long it took them to endorse this guy, but they endorsed Biden like a year and change out from the election. Like, if he was so good, why wouldn't you put your chips in immediately? They only just recently endorsed the guy, AOC, just recently endorsed the guy. So that in all to me is a red flag. You brought up this tweet from Faye as well.
Yep. So U.S. Americans, no one getting bombed gives a rat's ass about your Democratic king. Gross that all it took was PR to rehabilitate genocidal Democrats backed by Israel has the right to defend itself. Bernie and progressives who capitalize on genocide for political expediency. Jesus, English. So yeah, I mean, here's Elizabeth Warren weighing in, right? Make your snake noises in the chat. Get those snake emojis out. Bernie and AOC, nothing. Fascism. Very simple. This graphic brought to you by the internet. You're welcome. What else do you have from Fee?
I need to finish that tweet.
Yeah.
The point, he is endorsed by the Democrats and the entire lot who have and will continue to promote war and regime change in West Asia and beyond. If you think this is a win, don't get you've already lost the game. Also, no one outside your bubbles care about your feel-good veneer, avoid politics. They're more annoyed because you're dumb and can't figure out your way out of a paper bag while everyone else suffers at your expense. Bookmark this tweet when he inevitably becomes exactly the same as every politician. I'll wait for your apologies.
I'll also wait. I'll also wait. Right. I'm Spartacus.
And the only reason why I decided to do this, because she tweeted this out 4 days ago. This was before all of this went down. But she's talking about Iran here. But she said, we should quickly be mobilizing and organizing people in the states to stand against this war right now more than we ever had stood against any war. Not just protests, but actually economically going after the war machine. Voting is clearly useless when you live in an increasingly fascist state. So thank God I bookmarked this. But and kind of going in with what I said, hopefully if I put it right, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, here I got.
Oh no, did I? Oh,
I got stuff.
I think I put it in after the fact. So I have it on my thing.
I'll get to it here in just a second. So this is what it started with. So a lot of people are going to fall for AOCIA 2.0. Please stop making yourself complicit by continuing to vote. Thank you. Right? He is truly one of the best speakers the left has ever had, right? So, I was just pointing it out. Anyway, this upset this person, right? Fat fab feminist, one of the Fab Four herself. And if I go to view quotes and I go here, do you want us to roll over and die? Right? I reply, no, I want you to stop taking part in the system that keeps oppressing you. Until you stop giving it power, it will continue. How many times have you thought a politician was good for you only for them to turn right to the shareholders and do their bidding? You can't get the ones who have already been elected to power to stand up for you because they know you will still select a checkbox next election. I know this isn't an easy concept to grasp because voting has solved all our problems before. Direct action, mutual aid, general strikes, making the powerful actually fearful of you, putting wrenches in the gears of the machine, hurting their ability to make money, all much better uses of your effort than electing a political savior and then going back to brunch when that savior eventually sells you the fuck out. Tale as old as time plays. Tale as old as time. Jesus Christ. Guess what, Care Bear? Look here. Look here. We got the Zorhan, right? Mamdani, Zorhan, right? North Hollywood, California. To the Deborah Schomer Media Group. Care Bear. How much is that amount?
Nearly $500,000.
$500,000. Almost $500,000. $250,000.
This is all advertising.
Right.
And it seems like over the last month and a half, they increased their donation.
This is to get him on podcasts. This is to get him on Theo Vaughn. This is to get him on the Metro Card Takes guy. This is to get him on Gaydar. this is how this works. Care Bear, you might wonder who this Deborah, what is it, Deborah Schumer?
Well, you know what? Here's I'm just realizing that this is even better than AOC, because no one was looking at AOC quite like this. You know, so this is like, this is the remix. Literally, they evolve. This is the evolved version of the fuck shit, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking slow bro to slow poke. That sort of evolution. So guess what? Look, here it is. The Deborah Schumer Media Group. Look at this is the front page of their website. Who is that? Who's that right there?
David Axelrod.
David Axelrod of the Axe Files. Okay? David motherfucking Axelrod is here. Deborah Schumer was my media buying strategist for 20 years and made sure every dollar we spent counted. She's the best, says fucking David Axelrod. Okay? All right? Like, motherfucker, 0 people did their homework, Care Bear, clearly. 0 fucking people did their homework.
Well, no, I don't expect normal people to. I don't expect the regular schmegular people to, but I do expect us in independent media to. And the fact that, like,
0
no one, to my knowledge, did this.
Right. 0 of you did your homework on the Zorhan. There is Thiel Fellow, Fahim Zaman, founder of Care Dojo, dropping 100,000 on the campaign. Right? So here it is. Actor and activist Jane Fonda is the latest celebrity to throw behind Mamdani, as campaign financer records show they donated 1,000 to a super PAC boasting his mayoral run, but that was dwarfed by a 100,000 contribution from Fahim Zaman. It was the biggest donation by far to New Yorkers for lower costs, making up nearly half the 210,000 the pro Mamdani super PAC has reportedly raised so far. Right? So there's that, right? So if anyone, Jordan Chariton, is going to tell you that he didn't take super PAC money, you might give him a word. So here, Fahim Zaman, right? Look, young left Harvard, fucking went Harvard, came out of Harvard, right? First Thiel Fellow, and pursue his dream of rethinking healthcare. Right, you know, he's got this Care Dojo, right, which in and of itself is super weird, right? So Care Dojo is a home health software provider for back office administration, billing, and point of care software. You mean like what they're attaching to those monitors RFK wants to throw out?
Right.
Things like that. So yeah. A+. Peter Thiel affiliate. Here we go. I'm not the only one looking at these things. Right? Here's 7 C's, friend of the show. Right? He's got the same stuff. Same thing. Clearly, you know, Mr. Finch was sending this to a lot of people, as was myself. That is like my deep throat source, Mr. Finch. Names are changed to protect the innocent. But we got, what else do I have, Care Bear? Oh, David Hogg. Did you hear about that? The David Hogg bit?
Yes.
Like,
he donated.
Look at that. Look, there's David Hogg.
Right. Now, keep in mind, Dave Hogg has no issue with Hakeem Jeffrey. Like, granted, he just got kicked out of the DNC, but you have no problem with the leader of the party that essentially kicked you out? Okay, sir. So
we've got Hope and Change 2.0. Hope is not naive when you have a vision and a movement behind it. Hope is in fact righteous. shades of Chicago Obama, you know?
Mm-hmm. I saw someone say that too. It's giving Obama.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell people.
Look, here's the thing. I say this all the time because I get it. I get I do. I get why people kind of fall for this every time, because it's easy just to vote for a person who says the right thing and dust your hands off and think your job is done. It's a lot harder to actually get involved in a good organization, to actually plan shit out locally, and to actually do the shit to help these politicians be accountable. And here's what's going to happen. Because everyone's kind of comparing Zorhan to, I forgot his last name, but the mayor in Chicago. I forgot, Brandon. Someone in the chat can tell me the name of
I kind of remember. Mayor.
Yeah. But Zorhan is not going to meet the moment, because people are not going to hold him accountable. Like the majority of people, they're just going to be like, "Oh, he's done." So like, we just expect him to do shit. Not going to keep your foot on his neck to ensure that he does do the shit. He's going to fuck things up. The media is going to go after him, and then you're going to get like another Eric Adams in the next election, and shit is going to get worse. So people are expecting, and look, I'll say this: if I'm wrong with any of this, I will eat crow. You know, I want to be wrong, but we've seen this play before. You know, it happened with AOC, and even like the fact that he was even accepting like all these endorsements from people like Warren and Schumer and all that kind of bullshit. Jamal Bowman did the same shit. Like, I remember like he was like, "Oh, Obama thanked me for like winning my congressional seat." And like, I thought you were a Justice Democrat, Jamal, and you shouldn't have nothing to do with the Democratic Party. And look what happened to him. So, but it's just, again, I'm not surprised that people, and I don't want to say dumb. Most people don't know any better, and I kind of expect that. But I would expect better from even our colleagues in independent media that kind of gave mixed reactions to this, almost kind of justifying, justifying that him being in office, or possibly on the way being in office, is a good thing. Like, come on, guys. Like you guys know better. You tell your audiences not, or seemingly not, to be involved in the duopoly. So why are you giving this guy the time of day in the hope that he's actually going to do something? No. Like, and again, shout out to Fee for calling this out. You know, and it didn't come up on the screen, but I'll just end with this, because I tweeted this out earlier and it actually did very well for me on Twitter. So a lot of you actually agreed with me. But I said, I'm seeing on social media people praising Zorhan for winning New York City's mayoral primary and saying he's our hope. Guys, please don't place your hope in any politician, even the ones you like. You are the hope that you want to see in your community. And I feel like I told Reef, I feel like I repeat that message almost every week, but it's true. Do not rely on these politicians to do the work that you can do better. Honestly, like, don't leave it up to the politician to do the work for you, because hell, even if for some magic way they're able to get that policy that you want in place, there's always the possibility that that policy will be reneged. I reported what's happening in DC in terms of the ballot initiatives that people have voted for, like for raising the wage of tip workers twice. And right now, that might be removed. So as easily, not easily, as hard as it might be to implement policy, there are going to be people higher up that are willing to take that away or have the resources to take that away if it doesn't meet their criteria. So you have to put your foot on your neck on these people to ensure that once they do something good, that they keep it there. The problem is that people do not do that. And then when things go by the wayside, then people are like, "Oh, he sucks." So we're just going to do vote in another person who's going to do the exact same shit or worse, rinse, lather, repeat. That's the thing that we should be educating people on, is how to get organized in a way that you involve yourselves in politicians' lives, to actively go at them if they don't do
Look at
shit,
what
and to
Palestinian
make sure
Action is doing. Like multiple places that are actually affecting the bottom line, you know?
Right.
Like,
right.
No performative fucking protest for us. Thank you very much. Only substantive.
Right. We're done with that. Like, if they're not talking about strategic action, and I'm not saying protests are bad, but they should be a part of the planning and organizing process. If it's just a separate event, that I'm not going. I have nothing to do with it. You know? So, but yeah, again, Fee, thank you for speaking sense. Thank you again for being consistent. Wanting to show you some love in terms of what you said, but also to our colleagues who are kind of like, just regarding this, do better.
Do better.
And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate, but I don't care.
The difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
I really do.
Maybe.
We make this shit look good. And we damn good, too.
Right, maybe. But regardless, like, don't, like, and what Fee was saying there, not talking about you all. Like, but for anyone who's watching after this and think, like, Zorhan is the way to go, that Zorhan is the future and, like, the progressive that we need in New York to bring change to New York. No, you guys are the change. You are the ones that are going to inflict that change to make even Zorhan scared as shit if he doesn't follow up on the things that he says he's going to do. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. But again, we just want to be on record to kind of say our piece about this. Hopefully we won't talk about this again, at least in this way. And we'll move on to talk about more pressing things. That being said, if you don't hate us for what we said, and you can give to us through the QR code you see on your screen, or at the Ko-fi link that you see at the bottom of your screen there. If you want to donate to the show, don't give to Zorhan, give to us. Hopefully we try and give you more than what he will probably ever give anyone in New York, at least. Or if you don't want to give through Ko-fi, you can go to CashApp, PayPal, or Substack. Those links are in the description below. If you don't want to give or cannot give, we understand money's tight. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this clip. And make sure you leave a comment. What y'all think regarding his win? Do you agree with what Fee said? And let us know, what do you plan to, especially if you happen to be in New York, like, what steps are you planning to take to ensure that Zorhan follows through on his policies, assuming that he does become mayor? Let us know. Because again, I don't want to speak ill will of people and think that most of you won't do anything. I'm sure a lot of you are doing something. So those of you who are on the ground organizing, let us know how you're going to continue doing that work. And let us know, because we definitely want to shout you out, because I don't think we do that enough in the space of highlighting the people who are actually doing the work. So let us know. And thanks for watching.